Have you ever wondered why your favorite celebrities can literally sell anything? It's not because they have the best products or the cheapest prices. It's because of one single thing, and that is they've been able to build a cult personal brand. A brand so powerful that people hang on to their every single word, waiting to buy whatever it is they have to offer without any questions asked. And the funny part is, most people think to build a personal brand, you need to offer value, top 5 tips. But in reality, if you do this, you're literally going to stay invisible, because the difference between the ones at the top and everybody else comes down to one thing, and that is getting people to believe in them, to believe in their ideas, and believing that if you do follow this certain person, you will become a better version of yourself. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how I was able to build my cult following to over 300,000 YouTube subscribers, and how I'm helping my clients do the same, so that you can use the same exact strategies to not only build a following, but convert this following into dollars. Now, to begin building your cult following, the first rule is that every story needs a hero. So how you want to look at yourself when it comes to building an audience is that you are the hero of your story, right? You are the main character. You are the protagonist that's going to be the savior for all of these people, right? Now, it sounds very dramatic, but what are we here to do? To build a cult following, right? When it comes to being perceived as a hero, right? It's almost like a deity or a god or someone above. The first step is actually crafting a powerful origin story. So what you want to do with your origin story is you want to, number one, make yourself extremely relatable to your audience. And number two, you want to separate the distance between you and them by showing all the trials and tribulations and the challenges and all the stuff you went through in order to become the person you are today, right? So if you look at all the gurus and the personalities online, how do they usually tell their stories? They'll say something like, "Oh man, I was broke. I was just this regular, everyday person, just like everybody else. And then one day it hit me," right? And then they go into the challenges, go through everything. And then finally, at the very end, they accomplish the goal, make $1 million, whatever it is, whatever story they are selling. So the most powerful origin story typically uses a format that everyone's familiar with, which is the rags to riches. So if you ever watched the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, right, with Will Smith, he started off as just like this medical salesperson, basically was a single father trying to take care of his kid, lost his house. It's a very rag story, but with sheer determination and a little bit of luck, he was able to become extremely successful. So it's a typical rags to riches story, right? And when the audience looks at this, they think, oh wow, like I'm going through some struggles myself. This person is very similar to me. If they were able to pull it off, why can't I? So even how I build my following and even sell my program Founder X, right, which is a program that helps people build their personal brands, monetize it, and basically build an online business. Typically, when I get someone into my ecosystem, I usually tell the story of my rags to riches, of when I was starting out. I was literally just like an employee, 9-to-5 job, worked at a cubicle, made my first videos in my parents' house with like very little money, and I just got started. And with sheer work, determination, and a little bit of luck, I was able to get to the point where I am today. And that's why people want to work with me, right? Because they can see, themselves a little bit in me. Because when they see how I really started from scratch, literally just me in a small room in my parents' bedroom, like they think of themselves in the same kind of place, right? And maybe they're even starting at a better place than I was. So if I was able to do it, why not them? Now, an important part of being a hero to your audience is that you need to become somebody people aspire to become like. So when a viewer watches someone they admire, they see that person almost as a blueprint to get to where they want to go. And the strongest cults are able to make people feel that they are becoming a better version of themselves by adopting your philosophies, your way of doing things, right? So I'll give you a perfect relevant example for the modern day era. So George Heaton, who is probably like doing the personal brand thing, one of the best in the fitness kind of realm, he's got a lot of people following him, right? And the type of people that follow him aspire to be like him. And what is he even, right? What does he represent? So basically, he's a young person, young guy, pretty good looking, in shape, has a business that does over 100 million represent, right? And he also trains like an athlete. Now, he is not like a professional athlete, but he trains like an athlete. And so what he does, especially on his YouTube channel, is he documents the process of running the business, training like an athlete, and being like this hybrid kind of person. And so what I've noticed, especially in the internet marketing world, right? If you look at any younger guy who's like an influencer in the space, selling courses and stuff, chances are they probably wear their clothing, right? Represent 247, which is their other athletic brand. You're going to see it a lot. And so why are all these like gurus, right? from wearing these clothes? It's because they aspire to also be like George Heaton over here, someone who makes a lot of money, who's cool, and also trains like an athlete. Why wouldn't you want all those things? Those are all the character traits of an attractive man. And so in some ways, a lot of young entrepreneurs look at this person and say, hey, I aspire to be like him. It doesn't mean they want to copy him. It doesn't mean they want to be him. They want to take certain attributes of whatever he's doing, his philosophy, his mentality, his work ethic, the discipline, and apply it into their lives to become a better version of themselves. So when people buy the clothes from this person or this brand represent, they're not just buying the clothes itself. I would argue that it's not even about the clothes. It's about the message. It's about conveying to the world what type of person they are. Right? Saying, I'm a successful person, I am affluent, I work out, I exercise, I try to become the best version of myself every day. And that's what it means to wear the Represent logo on you. Whether they realize it or not, that is essentially how this brand is selling so much and is having so much influence, especially in the internet marketing world, which is what I'm in, right? So if you were to apply this into your content and build your own code, you have to first think about all the things that make you you. So what are the things that stand out that people want to emulate? Whether it's you exercising, training, the way you think, the way you talk well with girls, it doesn't matter what it is. You just need to understand that your followers want to be like you. So how do you show your strengths on camera so that they're like, oh wow, like I respect the work that guy puts in. So now that you understand the idea of being a hero to your audience, the next step is actually getting people to believe in one big idea. So if you notice some of the biggest personalities, they typically have one core message that they constantly repeat throughout all their content, whether it's on their own YouTube videos, whether it's on podcasts, you name it, it's usually comes down to one idea. So the way I think about it is, what is one idea that somebody needs to believe in order to buy into everything you're saying and also buy your products and services, right? For some people who sell information and coaching, you'll notice, okay, I don't want to say any names, right? That they'll say you need to escape the matrix. School is a scam. The government is a scam, right? That's why you need to buy Bitcoin, right? So even Bitcoin, I would even argue that it started as a cult, and it is a cult, right? Because it's just the value of Bitcoin, for example, it's only valuable because a lot of people believe in it and they believe the price is going up. If everybody believes the price is going up, everybody will buy and the price actually does go up. So it's almost like a fake it till you make it kind of thing when it comes to, let's say, something like a cryptocurrency. But even for, let's say, educational products, coaching, if you constantly say like school's a scam and you are the alternative, then people are going to think, why would I spend 20K a year for a traditional university that's not going to teach me anything when this guy's only charging $3,000 and he's going to teach me everything about how to make money online, right? And so you see, this idea of a constant message that has to be pushed. And once they believe in it, this certain idea, whether it's escape the matrix, school's a scam, or whatever it is, then all the things that you start saying becomes more, there's more weight to your words, right? Because they're starting to believe in the way you think. Now, the key to getting people to believe in a specific idea is to make the idea feel inevitable, right? So the key word here is inevitable. Like it's so obvious, it's gonna happen, everybody knows it, right? So for example, if you were to say school is a scam, well, it is true if you really logically think about it. A lot of the subjects that is taught in school is not really useful to everyday life. So it feels inevitable that school is a scam. But in reality, there are some subjects like science and math and computer science are actually super valuable in university. But when you are the messenger, you kind of like bury the truths in a sense. If you notice how people do it, it's like school's a scam, but not for everybody, for some people, but they'll forget to leave that part out or intentionally leave that out, right? So, there's always a counter argument to everything you're saying, but in order to get people to believe, you have to just make the idea inevitable. Now, a perfect example of this is actually this crypto Web3 project, it's like an NFT project called Azuki, right? Even if you're not into crypto, it's going to be a really good example. So basically, this company started as an NFT project. And what they do is essentially they have these NFTs and these coins that really just go up and down in value, right? Think of it like a digital currency. So if you were to buy one right now, it's about like $7,000 or $8,000 for one of their NFTs. And at the peak, one of these was worth like $100,000. So it constantly fluctuates between $5,000 to $100,000. It's crazy, right? So you might be wondering, who's going to buy this at $100,000? Who's buying this at $50,000? And what do they need to believe in order to spend this money? And the narrative that these guys push, because I've studied these a lot because I've spent a lot of time in the cryptocurrency space. The way they do it is that they get people to believe in a singular idea, which is anime is inevitable. So in crypto, there's not a lot of anime projects, right? And anime is like a, tens of billion-dollar industry. So they basically just have to say like, hey, like anime itself as an industry is huge. We are one of the best, or we are the best anime project in crypto. So that means if anime is huge and it's becoming the fastest growing entertainment medium of all time, and we're the best at crypto plus anime, then logically we would be also big as well. And so when people believe that, they think the value of these assets, these NFTs, these coins are just going to keep going up. And is that necessarily true? Well, it goes up and it goes down, right? If you're the creator, you're always making money anyways, because every time you sell these NFTs, you're making money. Every time someone transacts, you make money. So whether you win or lose, you always win because you make money from the creator perspective. But from the buyer perspective, if you're buying at the top, you're losing a lot of money. I know people who lost 7 figures, buying these NFTs, literally this one, right? And I've known a lot of people who made 7 figures, who bought it low, sold it high. So it's a zero-sum game. But at the end of the day, it's about getting people to believe in an idea. So even for Founder X, which is the program, where I coach people on how to build a personal brand and monetize it, what is one idea that I need people to believe in order to buy? I need them to believe that personal branding is the way. It is the business model, the best online business model in order to make money online. Right? I need them to believe that, because if they believe that and they believe that it's better than Shopify, it's better than Amazon, it's better than, starting an AI agency, whatever it is, and you need to be building a personal brand, obviously you're going to need help, which you will eventually buy my services for me to help you if you like the way I do things, right? So that's the idea that I'm constantly pushing throughout all my YouTube videos. And how do I do that? I show a lot of before and after. What was my life before I had a personal brand? I used to live with my parents, and then now I'm living in Vietnam and I'm traveling, and I'll show vacation pictures and stuff because I want to create a visual story to make it believable. And it is real, but you have to show proof to people in order to build that cult following. If you just talk about it, it can only go so far. But when you show it, it's a whole different game, because people believe it so much more. And I'll tell you, when you do these strategies, by the time somebody watches, a few of your videos and they finally get on a sales call with either me or my team, they're already like 80% sold, right? Because I've shown so much of that lifestyle and the way I'm doing things, and it's very authentic. It's not like I'm faking anything. Nothing's like over the top. It feels very real. So by the time they're on the call, they already want to do it. And so these are the ideas you need to plant in someone's head in order to get them to believe. So think about your offer and what you're selling. What's that one idea that you need people to believe in order for them to want to book a call and, buy your products and services, right? Now, this next topic might be a little controversial, but it is shepherd the sheep. So my personal belief, as we are all human beings, is that we are all sheep in some way. Of course, everyone likes to think of themselves as the leader, right? But we are all sheep in some way. What do I mean? Well, let's say for my online business world, right? Okay, so I am perceived as an expert. I'm teaching other people, and they pay me to help them do what I've done, right? Cool. However, there are other aspects of my life where I need to be a sheep in order to learn and get the best results. For example, you might see I got muscles today. Back in the day, I was really skinny and frail. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't training right. So I got a coach to teach me how to eat, to teach me about nutrition, to teach me about how to work out properly in order to gain muscles. So at the time when I got the coach, I just blindly followed him because I saw his results. He looked really good. I wanted to emulate him. So I trusted him and I followed him like a sheep, and I got the result I wanted, because I don't want to be the leader in knowing everything about fitness. Why would I? It takes too much time. I would rather follow someone else. Just like in, for example, relationships, right? I am not saying I'm a relationship guru. So if someone who is an expert can give me tips, I'm going to follow them because they are the leader in their space and I want to be that sheep. So human beings, we're constantly looking for shortcuts to speed up our decision-making process. Now, if you use this strategy for your particular sale, you have to understand you are leading the sheep as well. You are the perceived expert in your field and people are trusting you for guidance. Similar to how if you clicked on this video, you're probably learning how to build your personal brand and you want to build a following, right? And that's why you're watching in the first place. Because if I wasn't guiding you, then you wouldn't watch this video. You would figure it out on your own. So that's why I'm saying in education and coaching and consulting, I don't mean sheep in a negative way. I just mean like we're all human and we're all looking for direction. And a lot of times when you're selling opportunities, like business ops, coaching, consulting, a lot of times you're working with people who are lost. They're not really sure which direction to go and they need a little help. And there's nothing wrong with asking for help. That is just how we learn as human beings, right? Human beings are very good at copying other people. And so if you make your product and services like as easy as possible for them to copy you, then it's just going to make their life so much easier. Now, this next strategy I have for you is going to be extremely powerful, and that is the 3 beliefs. So when you are creating a piece of content with the intention to sell something, right? Whether it's a video sales letter, whether it's a YouTube video convincing someone to do something, and even when you're on the sales call and you're trying to convince someone to buy, they need to believe in these 3 elements or they're just not going to do it. So when I coach people through the Founder X program, what I do is I ask them about their situation and I use the belief triangle almost like a checklist. And if they're not checking all the boxes, I can figure out exactly what's wrong. So what are these 3 beliefs that someone needs to believe in order to buy your stuff? The first one is they need to believe in you. So if somebody doesn't believe in you and they don't believe that you can help them, they are not going to buy, especially if you're doing coaching and consulting and any type of online course, right? So a lot of what I do, especially, growing to over 300,000 YouTube subscribers, is that I need to show expertise that, I worked at Oracle, I was in sales, I was one of the top persons, and I built a YouTube following. I know how to build a personal brand. I'm living this life in Vietnam. I get to travel anywhere I want. I have to constantly show proof all the time to show people that I am who I say I really am. Not only that, but when I show client testimonials or when I talk about people I've helped in the Founder X program, it just lends so much more credibility because people think like, oh wow, like he's really out here helping people like make money online by starting a personal brand. That's crazy. So you have to think about what are you showing in your content that shows proof and credibility. So you'll notice that a lot of gurus, right, they will show cars and mansions that they may be rent, right? So it might not even be real, but these are subconsciously influencing their viewers to believe like, oh wow, this guy must be successful, right? The next step of the belief triangle is your vehicle. They need to believe that the vehicle that you're using to get to a certain goal is real and that actually works, right? So for Founder X, my vehicle is a personal brand. I need someone to believe that if they are able to use a personal brand to get a following, they're going to be able to monetize that following and make money online, right? So my vehicle is the idea of a personal brand as a business model. For other people, it might be, hey, like I'm going to teach you how to do Shopify dropshipping. That is a vehicle too. If the person thinks, Shopify is too saturated, it's hard to do, it's too expensive, then that means they don't believe in the vehicle. Sure, it works, but it's not going to work for me. So think about what your vehicle is, whether it's to help people lose weight, whether it's to help people make money with your AI automation system, doesn't really matter, but they need to believe in your vehicle. And so in your content, you need to show that this vehicle actually works for you and it works for other of your clients to show that it is real. Now, the last piece of the triangle is the most important, and that is they need to believe that they can do it too. So, early when I was doing sales calls and especially selling, coaching around personal branding, some people might say, yeah, Patrick, like I understand that you can make content, you're outgoing, you're this, you're that, but I'm like, not like that. I'm shy, I'm quiet, I can't really do it. So that means that they understand I did it. They understand my vehicle works clearly. They understand my clients get results, but they don't feel like they can do it too. And that's why they wouldn't buy. You need to learn from that lesson and figure out what can you say, what can you show to make this person feel confident that they can do it too. So I have a lot of clients in the Founder X program, right? And they all come from different backgrounds. So when I'm talking to a prospect or when my closers are talking to a prospect, what they can do is they look at that person that they're talking to and they look at their background, where do they work, how old are they, what is their ethnicity, all that stuff, right? And if we look in our database and we find someone who comes from a similar background to them and share their success story, the chances of them believing that they can do it too is significantly higher because they will say, wow, that guy looks just like me. That guy has the same job as me. That guy is literally starting out in the same exact place as me. And if that person can figure it out, I can figure it out too. So, for me, my audience in the sales world is like pretty big, right? A majority of people have watched my sales content for years, right? And so what I've been doing is I've been helping a lot of people go from their sales job and transitioning into a sales coach. So they don't have to sell anymore. They can actually just teach people on how to sell and, share the knowledge of all the things they learned. Now, when I share these stories with other salespeople who want to start their own personal brand and teach others, they're going to be like, okay, like Patrick started as a sales rep and he's teaching now. He helped these other guys who are also sales reps and they're sales coaches now. I'm a sales rep and I want to be a sales coach and I want to make content and all this stuff. And because Patrick has so much proof, his clients are successful, I want to do it too. And I believe I can do it because I'm probably better than the other guy, right? When you combine all these 3 things together, They believe in you, they believe in your vehicle, and they believe that they can do it too. There's really no reason for why they wouldn't buy. So remember, the secret to building a cult following is just to get people to believe.